If you've ever been stuck in Bay Area traffic, you know how draining those long drives can be. And even if you use public transit such as BART, crowded trains never feel fast enough. And here's the big twist. BART isn't just battling congestion, it's also facing a funding crisis. Just like SEPTA in Philadelphia, the Bay Area's main transit lifeline is running short on cash, threatening service cuts and higher fares. However, the government just stepped in with a huge announcement promising big improvements and a financial rescue for BART. Join us in today's episode of Great Trainspeed as we dive into the details. Right now, Bay Area Rapid Transit, or BART, remains the backbone of public transit in the San Francisco Bay Area. As of mid-2025, BART carries about 180,200 weekday riders, totaling nearly 50.8 million trips in 2024, ranking it the 7th busiest rapid transit system in the United States. Since launching service between 1972 and 1974, the San Francisco Bay Area Rapid Transit District has steadily expanded the network. The most recent addition came in 2020 when new stations at Milpitas and Berryessa North San Jose opened as part of the Silicon Valley extension. Recently, they have just entered the BART Silicon Valley Phase 2 with a 6-mile extension set to open in 2036 with 4 new stations in San Jose and Santa Clara. We have covered the stories on our channel. If you're curious about the project, just check it out. BART, like SEPTA, is teetering on the edge of a financial crisis. The system is banking on a $750 million loan to keep trains moving, but the path to approval has been rocky. Without this funding, riders could face steep consequences. A 30% fare hike, the closure of 10 stations, service ending at 9 p.m., nearly 26% of staff layoffs, and even the loss of the Green Line. It's a stark reminder that the future of major transit networks is at stake. Just as we covered with SEPTA, we're following this story closely, so if you're curious, be sure to check out our channel for the latest updates. For BART riders and California commuters alike, the stakes couldn't be higher, as recent protests demanding the $750 million highlight just how crucial this funding really is. To add insult to injury, instead of just focusing on public transit, the state legislature passed a $500 million bill to widen a highway that's going to be frequently underwater in 25 years. Highway 37 is a key commuter link between Marin and Solano counties. But the route faces 2 major challenges: worsening congestion and rising seas that could submerge it by 2040. Even though the purpose was truly good, it is quite unnecessary for citizens in this area. At least, that's how many feel about the Highway 37 expansion. Some see the $500 million project as misdirected, arguing that California's auto industry already thrives without so much socialized infrastructure, and that its customers should shoulder more of the costs. Fortunately, Governor Gavin Newsom has announced his support for a $750 million emergency loan to stabilize Bay Area transit, covering BART, Caltrain, and other struggling systems. The package, which briefly stalled earlier in the week after lawmakers and the administration missed a legislative deadline, is now set to move forward as a short-term lifeline to keep trains and buses running. Under the plan, the Department of Finance and the California State Transportation Agency will work with local transit agencies and regional partners to design financing tools, including structured loans and a clear repayment mechanism tailored to each system's needs. Officials say the priority is to protect service levels, reinforce fiscal reforms, and provide reliability until long-term funding is secured. This loan is part of a broader state commitment. Newsom's administration, alongside the legislature, has already committed more than $8 billion in multi-year transit investments in addition to baseline state support. Combined with ongoing cap and invest revenues, these funds are intended to sustain operations, accelerate the transition to zero-emission fleets, modernize infrastructure, and enhance the rider experience, while advancing California's climate and equity goals. The urgency of the loan is clear. Recently, a major BART computer outage stranded thousands of passengers, highlighting how fragile the system has become. Without this stopgap, agencies warn they could be forced into drastic service cuts in the months ahead as federal pandemic aid runs out and ridership remains far below pre-COVID levels. The $750 million package is designed as a financial bridge until 2027, when a proposed regional ballot measure in 2026 could establish long-term funding. Without it, transit leaders caution the Bay Area risks devastating service reductions that would undermine the region's recovery and leave riders without reliable mobility. So, what are the government and participants talking about this? During the announcement, Governor Gavin Newsom reaffirmed his commitment to California's transit systems on Friday, declaring that transit is a lifeline to millions of Californians. He emphasized that after years of billions in state investment, his administration will continue backing Bay Area agencies with support tailored to their needs. We'll keep partnering with them now and into next year, aligning flexible financing tools to their timelines so we can deliver a sustainable, rider-first transit system together, Newsom said. At a rally in San Francisco's Civic Center Plaza earlier this week, Mayor Daniel Lurie joined dozens of advocates and officials in urging the governor to act quickly on the stalled $750 million transit loan. Lurie emphasized that he has been in frequent contact with Governor Newsom and highlighted the governor's personal engagement on the issue. The governor has made it clear to me that he understands the importance of this. Other leaders issued more pointed warnings. State Senator Scott Wiener cautioned that California is playing with fire. We need to get this done. He stressed that the governor and Department of Finance must send a clear signal soon, or agencies could begin scaling back service preemptively to avoid a future financial collapse. The governor's office confirmed that negotiations remain ongoing. The administration is continuing to work with all stakeholders on the parameters of a funding deal with the goal of reaching an agreement this fall. The news of renewed support for Bay Area transit funding has sparked a wave of reactions across the region. Many were surprised to learn how hard Mayor Daniel Lurie had been working behind the scenes to keep the $750 million loan alive, with some saying they were glad to hear that. The comparison to Caltrans' recent approval of $500 million for Highway 37's expansion left others confident that BART, seen as far more critical to the Bay Area's future, deserves its own rescue. For some, the decision carried deeply personal meaning. "This actually means I can keep my job," one relieved voice shared. Others responded with sheer excitement. "Glad he changed his mind. We are so back. And thank God," capturing the relief of avoiding devastating cuts. Yet, amid the celebrations, curiosity remains. As one commenter put it with a dose of pragmatism, "Cool, where is this money coming from? Do you think this supplement can really help San Francisco tackle its transportation challenges?" Drop a 1 if yes, a 0 if not, and share your thoughts in the comments below. This year, a long-anticipated improvement is finally arriving: contactless fare payments. Riders can now tap a debit or credit card directly at the gates, eliminating the need to purchase or load a Clipper card. BART was chosen as the first operator in the region to roll out open payments because of its scale and impact. Field tests since June confirmed smooth integration with both physical bank cards and digital wallets. For many visitors, this will simplify travel across the system. Still, certain discounts, such as those for youth, seniors, and low-income riders, as well as transfer reductions, remain limited to Clipper. Officials also acknowledge minor risks like card clash when multiple cards are detected at once, but emphasize that the added convenience outweighs these drawbacks. Even as modernization continues, BART has faced a series of high-profile disruptions in recent months. An overnight system upgrade recently caused a network-wide computer equipment failure, forcing service to be suspended for several hours on one morning before normal operations resumed. Earlier this year, riders also experienced a train control and networking outage on May 9th, a Clipper system failure on July 1st that left agencies with up to $650,000 in losses, and a smoke incident in the Transbay Tube on August 29th that disrupted rush hour service. BART's future has been hanging in the balance, but California's recent $750 million emergency loan offers a much-needed lifeline. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone. See you next time,